What was your main motivation to begin with?
My main motivation was to be able to provide for my family without depending on someone or something else. I did not want to have to look my wife in the eye and say, it's going to be hard. We're not going to be able to have money for a mortgage or electricity or food because I don't have my job. In fact, when I got laid off, it was like 2 or 3 days in there that I didn't have the next job that I moved into. So my wife and I were praying a ton. And so praise the Lord, we were blessed to find another job in the same county, another department. But the motivation was to make sure that I can always take care of my family. That was the first motivation. And then from there, the blessing is when you become successful and employed, when you have investments or businesses that make you money without you working, then you have 40 plus hours of your life back that's normally spent someplace else building somebody else's business to do whatever you want. Let's say, actually, I love serving in my church. I love serving. And so if I just literally wanted to quit everything and just serve the church, then praise the Lord. I don't have to do anything because those things are accounted for. And imagine, actually, I was a interim junior high pastor many, many years ago, but I felt called to not actually be a full-time pastor. And here's the big reason why, Eric. When I was working, I got my first paycheck as being an interim junior high pastor, and I got so disappointed. And it's not for the dollar amount, how little it was at all. It was that there was any money in there because I'm a servant. And I was like, oh, like I feel like I got all my treasures right then. I want to store up treasures in heaven. And so with that, what I decided to do was like, I don't want the money. Let me just work. Let me just serve. And then fast forward now I literally can serve my church as much or as like till I'm literally like my hands are bleeding because I can just serve. And then praise the Lord, storing up more and more treasures in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that my wife and I love to do. We're selling a house this Friday, and I love being able to go to my pastor and tell him, say, hey, we have the awesome opportunity to bless the church this Friday, and I want you to just put it where it needs to be. Do we need to send people somewhere? Do we need to add something to some room? I'm just so thankful that I get to do that. And we have this really big overarching goal that we want to give our church over $1 million before year 2030. And like that's something that we are chasing right now, is that we want to give so much. And I truly believe, God gives us talents so that we can generate income, so that we can be good stewards of the money to help build the kingdom. And that is truly like my overarching view of it all, is that people are given talents so that we can, help other people, whether that's through the talent itself or as a byproduct. And the byproduct would be the income that you make off of it. And the income that you make off of it, we have to be great, incredible stewards of that money so that we can be responsible to give it to where it needs to be. Where we got to keep a roof over our heads and for our families, we got to feed our families, but we have a huge role to play to the benefit of all. We've got to give. We got to be active participants and not just existing. We've got to be a part of the solution, no matter how small you think it might be.